I'm Vanessa, and I'm here to deep dive on the subject of platforms today. Why do we keep hearing about platforms? It's a valid question because it's actually a very old concept. When you think about it, a Barbie doll, for instance, is a platform. They have clothes suppliers, they have fan clubs that feed sales, they have an entire ecosystem that makes the Barbie doll a platform. The thing is, with the internet economy, the costs of IT infrastructure have gone down. And so now it's much easier to scale a platform, especially when you're a technology company. So, what's the definition of a platform? It's a business model that creates value by facilitating the exchanges between multiple interdependent groups. So here's a graphic to show you what it is in terms of ecosystem. So at the central point, you have the owners of the platform. Then you have the producers that feed the platform. And then you have the consumers who are using the platform. So if we take examples to illustrate what a platform is, you have, for instance, Alibaba, and they're a Chinese marketplace. The owners of the marketplace are Alibaba. The producers are the vendors who are selling products on the marketplace. And then the consumers are the ones like you, me, or any Chinese person who are consuming and purchasing on the platform. Another B2B example of a platform is Shopify. Shopify is an e-commerce CMS. So what it means is that you can build your own e-commerce website using Shopify. They have a sort of marketplace as well where technology vendors can create modules that work with Shopify, and these technology vendors are the producers. And then the people who are launching an e-commerce platform are the consumers of the Shopify platform. So what is the strategy for a platform? It typically focuses on three things. The first one is to orchestrate the resources, and they're usually not the resources of the platform, hence the orchestration. When you think about it, for instance, the biggest resource for Uber is the cars, but they don't own the cars. So they need to rely on the drivers to be able to orchestrate the resources. Then you have little resources for the rest of the company investments, and that's why usually platforms are the companies with the biggest ratio in terms of revenue per employee. The best at this is actually Apple, where you have over $2 million of revenue per employee. The second pillar for a platform strategy is the governance that needs to be created and that needs to make sense for everybody around the table. So if I go back to the definition of a platform, it's a facilitator of communities. And so defining and enforcing how these communities interact with one another is crucial. And another question to think about is the access to that platform. So when I want to become an Uber driver, for example, the criteria is quite simple and straightforward. So I need, for instance, to be over 21. I need to have a driver's license that is valid and that I've had for over 3 years. I have to have no criminal record, etc., etc. If I change the rules of engagement, let's say now to become an Uber driver, you need to invest $10,000. There's going to be less drivers. And if there's less drivers, there's going to be less people who are using the platform. And so the whole ecosystem is going to have less value. Once again, the governance for a platform is key. The third pillar is the focus for the value of the ecosystem. So, if you go back to your traditional business school type of learnings, you typically learn that you need to optimize your value chain just like Porter has taught you to. And that's done in a very sequential way where you have the consumer right at the end of the sequence. However, that's not how an ecosystem is optimized when you have a platform. typically they maximize their value by optimizing in a very iterative manner. And so you're much closer to the lean startup theory where you build, you learn, you measure, you build, you measure, you learn. And so it's really hashtag fail fast, learn fast. And we're not in a sequential way at all. The community is at the heart of the platform on all sides of the equation. So stimulating it will contribute to a larger network that will make better matches, and hence there's going to be more data, and that will improve the matches and broaden the community. That's a positive circle that's called the network effect. And it's really the goal of all platforms is to create a strong network effect. And the measures of success, the KPIs to monitor, the network effect and the success of a platform are very different from the ones of a traditional company. So for instance, you'd be looking at engagement rates, at match quality, at interaction failure, etc., etc. I guess the last thing I would like to say on platforms is that it impacts the company in a very different way, and it creates companies in a very different way than traditional companies do. So usually they're set up, the departments are set up in a different way, the roles are different, and even the leadership style is very different in a platform versus in a traditional company.